What's up, guys? First of my comic book series is going to be the Phantom. I know I already did Guardians and a couple others, but I will be going over the Phantom at the moment. And next video in the comic book series, and I think that's what I'm going to label them, I'm not sure, will be the Phantom versus the comics it was based on, which was the Singh Brotherhood, Sky Bandits, and the Belts. Now, The Phantom is a very, very strange movie in that it goes more for a classic pulp feel. Like, when I grew up listening to The Shadow, I had them on cassette. I didn't listen to the radio broadcasts. I'm only 27. Wasn't even thought of then. It really had that old school vibe to it, and direction wise it worked with that as well. Now there's a lot of silliness in the movie, and oh man, I feel like I got something in my chest. Sorry. There is a lot of silliness in the movie. The skulls, the way they're done, just a lot of the special effects, I feel like it could have been far better than what it was. But let me see if I can find what the budget was. It had a $45 million budget, which actually wasn't all that bad. I'm losing train of thought. This is why I need to write things down. So the Phantom Kit is a descendant of a line that started 400 years before, got attacked by the Singh Brotherhood, and landed on this island, became the Phantom, which the villagers call the ghost that walks, and has basically been fighting anyone that's been going into this jungle with ill intention, or the Singh Brotherhood trying to get a hold of the skull. And there's more to it than that, but that's all they really mention, mostly because the opening of the movie is these four guys, four guys that go into the jungle and find the skull, which is what they were looking for. One of them has the Singh Brotherhood tattoo right here. They never explain how he got that, by the way. And the other three basically die right away. The Phantom goes and rescues them, and of course it's this huge hokey ordeal where he's driving away, the Crickety Bridge starts breaking. The Singh Brotherhood guy had jumped out before that, but Phantom stayed to rescue the kid. And last minute, he grabs a vine with the kid on his back and swings all the way to the other side in an arc that made no sense at all. If that doesn't sound like a good time for you, don't bother. This movie is hokey. It has all sorts of bad stuff, but not in wow, that sucked. It's more of a that was fun. Kind of Indiana Jones feel in the way it was done. Huge sense of adventure. The music behind it just really gave it that feel. And the characters really remind you of an old school, like 50s, 60s type deal, which really makes sense considering the source material was 1939 to 1940. And this was the huge mobster era. And Phantom is basically going against a mobster, Xander, who has corrupt politicians, corrupt cops. Well, the cop leader, it's not specifically said, the cops themselves are corrupt. So it jumps between this jungle and the city itself. The, oh god, what's her name? I want to say Diana. Diana Palmer. I was right. Is basically Kit's long lost love from college, who wound up getting away because Kit's father died and Kit had to come take over for the Phantom, is heavily involved in this because she's in a newspaper. She's trying to figure out what Xander was after over in the jungle. And that's when the Sky Bandits come in. Now, one action scene leads to another with slight mob motives, like Xander basically killing one of the people who leaked information, or he thought leaked information. It does follow the typical gangster cliches with Xander, as expected. It does follow the typical superhero norms. But once it hits, like the last 15 minutes, it takes a leap into the ridiculous that the movie just didn't really set up for, minus two scenes. And the first was when, in the beginning, when they pick up the skull and the eyes on the skull glow. Very, well, not really subtle, but it's just LEDs in a silver skull, is what it looks like. The second scene is when they get a hold of the second skull, and Xander pulls out the first skull, and they connect together, and Xander's holding them up, and horrible, horrible lasers coming out of the sky, and not sky, out of the eyes of the skulls onto a map, burning a hole where the third skull is. Eventually they make their way to this lost island. They meet the Singh Brotherhood, and the person they got for the leader of the Singh Brotherhood was fantastic. I believe it's the same dude who played Liu Kang. I'll double check that. Yeah, it is. He does a fantastic job, and compared to the comic, I know I'm not really getting into that now. He plays the character dead on. There's a bit of deadpan humor in there. The way he dies, though, is very, very frustrating. Overall, as a movie, I would give it a 4 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. It's about average, but as a good sit-down drinking time, you get a couple friends together, you grab a couple beers, you sit down, and you just have fun with it. You'll have a blast. So while not an exactly bad movie, it's not great, it is just right about average. Hits all the beats you think it's going to. The ending laser show is just bad. Well, I don't want to say bad. It jumps the shark so bad with the so far with the end laser show that you just kind of rub your head questioning why would they do that. It's very, very anticlimactic is what I should say. Overall, I did have a lot of fun with it. I will probably watch it again eventually, and I would give it a 5 out of 10 final. It's basically your average movie. It's not bad, not good. Just it's right in the middle of the good, bad. I'm talking in circles now. If you enjoy that sort of thing, if you enjoy the old pulpy, like the Shadow, stuff like that, definitely see it. It is worth your time. And I do have to make special note, the Phantom's costume for this is fantastic. Just looking at him, you don't realize, but on his purple shirt there are skulls everywhere and designs etched in everywhere, and you only really see it in a few scenes, which is an absolute shame because it looks like there was so much work put into it. I'll try and throw a picture up in the editing software, but if you get a chance and you do enjoy this sort of thing, go see it. It's worthwhile. Have a good day.